Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have for you two clips to watch. This one here, we'll get into it in a moment, which is a doozy. This is the T20 Cricket World Cup. Those you're seeing there are people, human beings, just as allegedly as smart as you or me, and they're in sheep pens. This should show you exactly what the people pulling the strings think you are. I mean, they're showing you that you are a sheep, or what they think you are a sheep. Certainly the people here are. So these are the people watching the T20 Cricket World Cup. Tongue twister. Just ridiculous. I mean, I don't like cricket, but if I did, I would rather watch it on a television than do this. Right? Not that I own a television. I haven't owned a television since 2012, but I wouldn't do this. And the second clip we have is from, we've been doing a lot of Australia at the moment. It's a doozy. It's brilliant. This is the way the Australian public are fighting back. The second is a group of Australians who have organised themselves together, and they are having picnics outside of restaurants that have poke mandates, right? So the message they're setting out is, this is the counter action to this. The people pulling the strings behind this, putting human beings in sheep pens, saying, look, you are essentially sheep, are making a point. But the people organising the picnics in Australia, because they're having picnics outside of restaurants, they're making their point as well. They are saying to the restaurant owners who put these vax mandates out there that we don't need you. You need us. We can just go down to the shop and have a lovely community picnic, which is what they do. But they have the picnic right outside the doorways of these restaurants. It's genius. It's brilliant. Wait until you see it. So we'll get into this video now. If you haven't yet though, please, if you find the video informative, subscribe to the Hoggcast, hit the notification bell, give the video a like, and let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We also have a membership scheme now where you can be a financial backer of the Hoggcast. There's a join button down below and a link in the description. I have 8 amazing backers at the moment, members of the Coffee Club or the Gold Club, and each and every one of them honour me that they value my commentary as much as they do. You know, we're only a small channel. We are the underdog. We are conservative commentators. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so the human sheep pen clip's only short, only 18 seconds. Let's take a look. I mean, look at them, look. It's a beautiful setting, isn't it? Mute it for a second. So we have all these people in sheep pens. They're sheep in sheep pens, and it's amazing what human beings will sink to. It's like Paul Joseph Watson says, and a number of other people, but I love his videos, I love his artistic flair, and his politics, of course. But as he says, people who comply, like habitual compliance with draconianism especially, they always think of themselves as virtuous instead of cowardly. That's what he said, and he's right when he says that. I'm not sure if he coined that phrase, but he is right. All of these people think they're virtuous. These are the people who, like, probably not so much now, but like 2 months ago, if you walked down the street without a face covering on, they would rush up to you and likely, at the very least, invade your personal space, but most likely they would launch an attack on you. Physically, even. Because they think they have the right to do it, because they are the virtuous ones. They are the ones who are complying the most. So in their mind, that gives them some sort of status elevation over you. So they think that they, in turn, the government can crap on them, but because they're the most virtuous ones, they think that they now have the right to crap on you. Like a ladder. You could almost call it a social credit system. A caste system. That's what the Rona situation has brought to the West. A caste system. Like in Australia, sorry, not Australia, I got Australia on the brain. India has a caste system. So one caste is seen socially as better than the other, and then the third caste is better than them, and then the fourth caste is better than the third, and so on and so on. So these are your sheep. Look at them. Sheep is as sheep does. Now, let's move on to the. This one's a better clip. It's more uplifting because it shows you that in Australia there are some human beings among the sheep who haven't given up the fight for basic freedom. Who would have thought it? We've got to go back to basics. None of this, oh, in 4 years we're going to take back the house. We're past all of that. We're going right back to basics. Regular education, as in the 3 R's, not ideology. Hospitals, where you get treated regardless of what your condition is. Okay? Oh, you haven't got the poke, you're not allowed, get out. I did a video on that. 2 days ago I did a video on that. Yeah? Crime. No defunding the police. Let's fund the police, let's defund crime, and put serious criminals where they need to be. Borders. You can't have a nation if the nation doesn't protect its borders. See, all these simple things, that's where we have to go back. None of this, oh, well, we're going to take back the house. What house? Let's go back to basics first. Right? So, let's move on to the next clip. So this is St Kilda in Australia, a town that is, I believe, don't quote me on it, but I believe, because I love all history, all things history, especially notorious figures in history. One Ned Kelly, right? Before I die, I want to see his armour in person. I believe, but don't quote me on it, that St Kilda and the bush and the creeks and the valleys around St Kilda was his area. I forgot the saying, his haunting ground. But it doesn't. I say it in my head, but it doesn't sound right. Anyway, so this is St Kilda, and you have all these people. They've organised themselves. They are outside all of the restaurants which demand a poke passport. You have to show your papers. You have to show your what did they call it in the Politburo in the Soviet Union? Internal passports. That's what they called it. You had to have an internal passport at all times, or you were carted off. Think about that. We are one stage away from that. We've already got the internal passports. You can't enter a building. In some cases, you can't leave a building without your poke passport. Anyway, look, let's take a look at these people dining, picnicking out in the outside of the restaurants, making their point that the restaurants need them, not the other way around. So here, look, here are the restaurants. So you've already got a caste system, really, if you think about it. I'm in the restaurants, to restaurant or not to restaurant. You have the Stasi lined up, look. This body armour and that is no longer their uniform. You know what their uniform is now, don't you? It's that. That's their uniform. That's the new uniform. So these people people are out in public, they're eating, they're having a picnic, families enjoying themselves without bibs on, and you can see that the Stasi people, they look angry, don't they? You see, they've come out to police people having a picnic, and they're just waiting on the wings for someone to do something wrong, like have a half-empty coffee cup or whatever constitutes a crime in Rona, Australia. Modern Australia. That's it. That's modern Australia. A crime is going for a picnic or having a coffee cup half full. I'm sure you remember that clip. I showed you that clip, didn't I? The Australian Stasi guy, he harassed a man just walking down the street, and he wanted to know if the man... He actually checked the man's coffee cup to see if it was full or empty. Because the laws change so quick in this... what did the Australian minister... In fact, 2 Australian ministers call it. Oh yeah, that's right. New World Order. Because the rules change so quickly and they change so much, nobody knows what I mean, it might be illegal to have an empty coffee cup today, but tomorrow you might be thrown into prison for 15 years for having a full coffee cup. That's how quickly things seem to change. So, we'll mute it. We've already watched it through. It's going back to the beginning. So, you know what? I might have to mute or cut off the end of that video because it had a song playing in the background. But you know, so whoever is organising this, they need to keep doing it, and they need to get more publicity. You know for a fact they're not going to get publicity from the mainstream media, so it's going to be down to alternative media. But I know I have some Australian viewers, Trish in particular, good friend of mine, have been friends for a long time. You guys need to do this more often, because you're showing, it's like the ideologues think you need them, but they need to be shown in as ingenious way as possible that it's them that need you, because that is going to be the great equalizer. That is the problem in the West. Politicians have stopped understanding that they serve you. You know, the ones who always talk about the sanctity of democracy, yet they never represent the people who elected them. They represent themselves, their own financial interests. Joe Biden has been in the DC swamp for how long? Over 50 years. Half a century of failure. And he gets rewarded with a prime minister for presidency? You know the amount of money he and his son have in their bank accounts, Joe Biden in particular, is vastly more than his presidential salary. Even his Congress salary. And the Senate over 50 years. Where does all that money come from? And it's the same with Nancy Pelosi. All of them. AOC, all of them. They all have more money than their pay would dictate. So where's it coming from? You need to show them. You need to show them that they need you. Anyway, look. What do you make of these things I've shown you? Sorry, I feel like I've gone on a bit of a tangent more than once in this video. So if I have, I apologise. And let me know down below if I did or did not. I would appreciate if I'm just being a bit paranoid or whether I am actually going on too many tangents on my videos. I'd love to know. So if I am, please let me know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.